Welcome in. Glad you're along for the ride. The new drug today is Florida Georgia Tuesday. Love Florida Georgia Tuesday. I'd like it better if Florida was good.
Yeah.
I like Florida being good better than Florida being bad. That's my take.
It feels like it's been a while since we've had a really hyped Florida Georgia game. Because Florida hasn't lived up to their end of the bargain.
So I was thinking about this today. How many times over the years have they both had good teams? I mean, that's 07, 08.
Yeah, Stafford versus Tebow.
Yeah, that was they were pretty good then. But I mean, in the history of the series, certainly in the recent history, but maybe in the overall series, how often have they both been pretty good, like elite?
It's one of the most bizarre things about the rivalry.
Yeah, that's right.
There just haven't been a lot of where they're both great at the same time. We thought the early days of Dan Mullen, thought, okay, Mullen versus Kirby Smart, that could be a rivalry that we see now for the next, 10, 15 years or beyond. And, obviously Mullen fell apart. But it's, Spurrier never had a Georgia threat. Urban really wasn't there that long, but didn't really have much of a Georgia threat, and Kirby hasn't had much of a Florida threat.
Yeah.
And Dooley didn't have much of a Florida threat.
So if you go to your point, when I started watching the series, I paid a little attention in this. I was too young in the '60s, but early '70s when I was a teenager, started watching the series. Georgia dominated the series. Georgia really dominated in the '70s and the '80s. There was a little stretch in the mid '80s. When Florida won 84, 86 in that stretch, I say won, they won twice, but it certainly felt like they were turning the corner. Then they weren't. But Georgia really, once I started paying attention, 70s and 80s, Georgia dominated the series. Spurrier got there and won 11 out of 12. And this is an astounding stat, Spurrier, Zook, and Urban won 18 out of 21. Do you realize that?
It's amazing.
They were Spurrier, Zook, and Urban between them were 18-3. Spurrier was 11-1. Zook was 2-1. Urban then would have been 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
It was an amazing run, and Georgia fans felt like they'd never win again. Then all of a sudden it flipped, and now Florida feels like they'll never win again. It's been amazing how streaky it has been. So it really has. It's been an amazingly streaky series. So we have some thoughts about this game, the impact of this game, if it exists. We'll certainly talk about that. Florida State back on the field against Wake Forest. Is there anything Mike Norvell could do to get fired?
To get fired?
To get fired now, not wait till the end of the year. Is there anything he could do? We all assume he's going to get, at some point they're firing Mike Norvell.
Oh, if he loses Saturday, how could you possibly have him talk to the media Monday?
Well, that's my question.
Yeah. If he loses to Wake Forest, it's got to be over.
$58 million or no $58 million?
Yeah,
that's my question.
If you're going to be a serious program, you're either going to be a serious program and fire Mike Norvell if he loses to Wake Forest, or basically you're going to publicly admit that you're being held hostage by a contract. Yeah. And I just don't see Florida State living with that perception. I just think at that point, even if it means you've got to, kind of find somebody as your next coach that maybe you can't hand, a $50 million contract to. Even if you've got to go a little bit more on the, frugal side of your next hire, I don't know how you could possibly retain Mike Norvell if he and frankly, I'm stunned. It's opened as an 8.5 point line. Florida State's favored, and it's jumped to 9.5.
Yeah, and Wake Forest.
Who is putting money on the Seminoles?
Yeah, and by the way, Wake Forest is 5-2. Okay.
Yeah.
Wake Forest. That's what I'm saying. Wake Forest. Let me put this in perspective. Wake Forest is 5-2, and outplayed Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
So I don't.
They're no Stanford.
But I'm not sure how Georgia. I'm really not sure how Georgia Tech beat them. Somehow Georgia Tech. Did you watch?
Oh yeah, very fluky. Game.
Very fluky. So they're a fluke away from 6-1.
Right.
So and by the way, they just beat SMU.
Yeah.
They just
held SMU to 12 points.
12 points, right? So I don't know. I don't know that Florida State's going to beat them.
I put it in. I haven't sent out our picks.
It should be in the picks.
But I thought maybe it should be in the picks because I don't know that everybody's going to take FSU.
Oh, I don't know who I'm taking.
Yeah. Well, it could be everybody takes Wake.
Yeah.
But you don't often see a 9.5 point underdog get a clean sweep in the picks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I just think that. So anyway,
That seems way more like a pick 'em to me than a 9.5 point line.
So we'll certainly get to that coming up today on the program. Talk some Jags and Raiders of significance. My question for Jaguar fans is, what do you want to see? We want to win the game. I mean, I get that part. You want to win the game. But in addition to winning the game, what do you want to see from that game? So we'll certainly talk about that. That comes up today on the program as well. JJ LaSelva, he checks in from North Central Ocala. How much did you watch last night? How many innings?
I made it to, I think, the 15th.
You did, really?
Oh, yeah.
Like
I
1 through
tweeted
15?
when I went to bed, and I think it was probably around like 1:30. I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Okay, so you went through, but you went inning 1 through inning 15.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was in and out. I think
Yeah.
like from the 8th inning to the 15th
Yeah.
inning, I was like, I was getting really tired.
Yeah.
But I was like, if I don't go to bed now, it might be 4 in the morning.
Yeah, it was 4 in the morning. It was,
Yeah.
it was 2:51.
That's what Joe told me.
It
Joe
was
stayed up for the whole thing.
2:51. So I fell asleep, probably 6th or 7th inning. Okay, fell asleep. I just couldn't do it anymore.
But you woke up for the next game.
Woke up. Correct. I woke up like in the 11th, 12th. I said, you know what? Why? I got 20 minutes before I need to go back to bed. Okay, I can do this, and I stayed up.
Wow.
So I wound up watching. I probably watched 12 innings. I probably watched the first 6 and the last 6, give or take. It was amazing. I mean, watching those last 6, it was amazing. And by the way, the Dodgers, before Freeman hit the walk-off, hit 98 straight fly balls to the warning track.
Oh, yeah. And the
Every
announcer
one of them.
thought every single one
Everyone.
was gone. Yeah.
I thought everyone. Didn't you? Because there was bat flips and stares and standing in the box. I assume you didn't watch it.
So I did watch some. I watched the Chiefs until it was like 28-7, and I gave up on that. And so I did watch the World Series from like 7th inning to like 11th inning.
Yeah.
But then I was tired, and I was like, I'm not staying up to see.
Yeah.
And then when I got up this morning, I saw it that
18
it went
innings.
18 innings.
Two
That's
games.
incredible. So I did. So I think between the three of us,
Yeah.
I gave us innings 7 through 11, and you guys, it
By the
seems
way,
like, gave
by
us
the
the
way,
rest of the
That's
game.
about what I.
So
That's
I
really
think-
about what I
think-
missed.
Yeah, I think the
Oh.
trio watched the whole
Yeah,
game.
I mean,
Imagine losing that game,
Well,
man.
right.
And then you got to play tonight. You're just
Yeah.
demoralized.
Yeah, and honestly, the Dodger reliever Klein, who
Will Klein, never even heard of him.
well, he
before.
had never thrown more than 30 pitches in a game
Is it Kevin's brother?
through 5 innings. I mean, and he was nasty.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he had nasty stuff.
Gave up 1 hit.
Yeah, I mean, it was really. But I every time the Dodgers hit a fly ball, I said, okay, I can go to bed. And caught on the track. Fly ball, I can go to bed. Caught on the track. There were more of those. So I was now convinced when Freeman hit it, I was watching.
That ain't a homer. Yeah, it's staying in the park.
Because it was dead center.
Easily my favorite moment of the night. I didn't make the last 2 or 3 innings, but my favorite moment by far was it's bases loaded. Clayton Kershaw, you think you're about to go and enjoy your retirement? Nope. Come out here. We need like one of the most crucial outs of your entire career.
Of his career.
And all he had in him was 1 out, man.
Right,
He was
right.
all over the place. He did not look good,
Right.
but he did what needed to be done. You could tell his wife knew, too, that he doesn't have it,
Right.
because she was so pumped when he got that. It was such
That
a
was a
great
great-
moment.
yeah.
You really didn't want to see him before he retires. We talked about this a few weeks ago, like that he's known as the guy who used to be bad in the playoffs. You don't want to retire right after you give up, a game-winning hit in the 13th inning or whatever.
After all the glory,
the
glorious retirement.
I'm glad
So-
he got out of it.
So all right, so a lot of things we'll talk about today on the program. We'll get to Florida, Georgia. What do you expect? What do you want? What does Jag fan want to see? Obviously, you want to win the game, but what do you, if I say get back to what they did the first few weeks? What does that mean for you? And we'll certainly get into that a little bit. It involves a lot of the players. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a little baseball. Jeff Dantzler joins us for our SEC report. That comes up at 5:15. But we got a busy day tomorrow. We're going to be at UNF tomorrow. UNF kind of kicks off the Bobby Cannon era, so to speak, with one of those exhibition games. So we're going to do our show live from there. Nick Morrow's going to join us, the AD. Bobby's going to stop by, the coach as well. So we got a lot going on tomorrow. So we dragged Brett Hastings in here today because there's an important sports and courts topic, the gambling in the NBA. I mean, that's mob-like stuff, man. And what does that mean? And what does it mean for everybody? And what are the rules? What you can do? What you can't do? Not just within the league, not with the association, but in life. What's against the law? I mean, stacked poker games. So Brett's going to kind of break down the legalese of all that. Sports and Courts is how we'll start the program today. Jeff Dancer in the second hour. A lot to talk about. Glad you're with us on a Tuesday. Our Tuesday is always brought to you by our friends at the Nimnick family of dealerships. Nimnick Chevrolet on Cassett, Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Speed.
45-50.
Talent.
How high can you leap?
Opportunity.
Just when they needed it most.
Listen for the Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game. Experience the universal difference on 1010XL.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
You don't need to bet everything on a Hail Mary. Just find a ride in your budget. Because Southside Kia is now Kia on Atlantic. New name, new location, same great deals. And we have the perfect place during the Kia Fall Savings event, like a new Kia payment free for a full 90 days. Or take advantage of financing rates as low as 0%. It's always a touchdown when you shop the best deals in town. Kia on Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
For complete details, call 904-250-0587.
After the lights go down on Friday night, 1010XL flips the switch.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, Friday Night Lights.
With Hacker and Dylan Denmark. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. With so many messages, we know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. We'll help you find doctors to get you better, and we'll work hard to maximize any recovery. Visit our website and look at our reviews to see how we've helped people just like you make this important decision. Harrell & Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need a Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coyle & Sons Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember the 2017 AFC Championship game when Miles Jack wasn't down? You know what else isn't down? Fences installed by Coyle. Their fences have been standing tall here in Jacksonville for nearly a century. Since 1927, Coyle has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida. If you're in the market for a new fence, I recommend calling Coyle & Sons today at 904-356-4821, CoyleJacks.com. That's C-O-Y-L-E Jacks.com. Coyle Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents, so let I-9 Sports help. They've got winter and spring registration open right now for kids all over the First Coast to enjoy their favorite sports. Log on to i9sports.com and don't miss out on the upcoming seasons. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken 180.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Now time for Sports in Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
Brett Hastings is here, getting ready for Florida, Georgia. Are you ready for Florida, Georgia?
It's going to be a unique one. We rented the rail car, and we are going to, at 6 a.m., fly to Vegas. I'm going to watch Florida, Georgia in the Durango Sportsbook. Take all three of my sons. We're going to go to the Jaguars, Raiders, and then we're going to stay Monday night and watch the best hoops team in America kick off college basketball. Ultimate guys trip.
See that. You know what you and I did wrong? We got in the wrong business.
Yeah, we did.
Let me ask, could we have passed the bar? Hey, what are the chances of us
Does
passing
that
the
have
bar?
anything to do with drinking?
What does that have to? Can you imagine you and me trying to pass the bar?
No chance.
What's the best score you can get on the bar? What's the best score?
You just pass it.
Oh,
right?
oh,
You just
is that seriously? It's like pass fail.
Yeah.
It's a pass fail, and I think if you get like 60%, 70% right. You do it. And whenever you get out of taking the bar, you're convinced you failed it because everything you've always done in academics, you kind of felt like, I got an 80, a 90. You come out of there and you go, man, I feel like I missed half. And I thought, man, I did horrible and I did really well on the bar. But it's not one of those things that if anybody walks out and goes, yeah, I aced that, they're straight failing it, right?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
maybe we could take it just for fun.
Yes. People say you got to like to read. Do you read a lot of books? I said, I don't like to read magazine articles. Books.
I read
like
box scores.
Right, and get tired. So anyway,
it's a 2-dayer, 2 full days. Yeah.
So you're saying Hayes and I might have struggled in that, okay? Public school guys.
That could have been
you guys are smarter than everybody else doing this gig. I don't know. I don't think anybody's saying, hey, you should go that route.
Yeah, we did make good job choices. So there's that. So anyway, hey, at the end of this, I'm gonna have you give your Prepare Florida Georgia DUI people because you do a great job of that. That's usually what we do in this Sports in Courts this week.
Right.
But the NBA thing is fascinating. Big picture, did Chauncey Billups participate in a rigged poker game? I mean,
that's what the allegations are, and so I think most people have heard it, but just to sort of lay the table. There's a prosecution in the Eastern District of New York, okay? And there's basically 2 components to it. One is that Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier are the 3 NBA athletes that are a part of this. Billups was a part of this poker game, and allegedly, you were saying maybe mafia, absolutely, with 3 well-known mafia families, they worked in conjunction to conduct these illegal poker games. They say there were like X-ray tables, all kinds of different eyeglasses and other things to kind of go through this process and to facilitate it.
I mean, that would be. I mean, that what is the? I gotta believe if you get convicted of that, of cheating with cameras and glasses, you go to jail for a long time, right? What are the possibilities there?
It's up to 20 years in prison in this instance. But Mr. Billups might even face a more difficult choice, right? The prosecutors are going to come in, and I don't know that they want to say, hey, we want to put Chauncey Billups in jail for 20 years. They're probably going to say, hey, if you don't want to go to jail for this long, we need you to flip on 3 of the most notorious, mafia families that are out there.
That'll be good for his long-term future.
And that's,
the mob doesn't hold a grudge at all.
No, that'd be good.
And they don't have guys in the prisons either, right? That know who you are and everything else. And so that's what
it's just the mafia, honey. We'll be fine.
Honest to God, it's one of the craziest sports stories I've seen in a long time. It really is.
It's amazing. My question is, if the mob threatens a citizen to do something illegal, the citizen does it because either he or she, and a threat of the family or personal harm. Are you still breaking the law if you're breaking the law, but you're doing it because you're being forced at like gunpoint or forced family threats? How does the legal system view that?
I mean, if you were forced at gunpoint, I don't think that's something that they would actively prosecute. If they were exerting force on you, that would ultimately be a significant mitigator, right, in a sentence or what have you, right? But you would obviously need to be cooperating with the prosecution or anybody else that's there. You know, if they kind of make this decision from a free will standpoint or what have you, we don't know it at this juncture. I would be shocked, right, if the reason that they weren't approached was because they weren't already in debt or had some other issues that were going on. You know, I don't think Chauncey Billups, who was a coach, you know, borderline Hall of Fame player, would just say, you know what, I really want to get in here and figure out how to defraud people by way of a poker game. So I've got to think, you know, that there's a larger backstory, which may be the reason that they go do it, but not to an extent where you could say, hey, I got a get out of jail free card. Let me tell you what they did to me.
Yeah. Brett, do you, the whole gambling thing, have you ever had, as a lawyer, been involved in that? I mean, you do different stuff, but you've worn
Really,
a lot of
I
hats in
haven't.
your lawyer life.
I haven't ever had to deal with anything like that. You know, when I was a prosecutor, there were, you know, illegal gambling games and other things that would, you know, take place in strip clubs or, you know, other areas.
Did you prosecute those?
We didn't actively prosecute those, but we would, you know, find out knowledge about these things or what have you, you know, at or near the time. You know, at times, people that would find themselves in and around these situations would have information or knowledge, and they may get charged in another crime, right? Like a simple drug possession or get a DUI and then come to us and say, hey, you probably want to know about X, Y, and Z, and then they would have to cooperate with us, and you could have, you know, a lesser sentence or what have you. And so that's kind of how a lot of times things are found out later. You know, in this instance, you know, we still need to find a little bit more, but it appears to me that there was an investigation of, you know, what was going on in these poker games, and then that sort of led to, you know, the individual, you know, stuff as it related to Terry Rozier, who was not implicated in any way, shape, or form with the poker, but I believe that I know Billups was and Damon Jones was.
And I was going to get to Rozier. Rozier, apparently, from what I read, he set up prop bets. The prop bet would be he faked an injury and then told everybody to bet the under on how many points he was going to score. Right? It was that simple, right?
Right. I mean, they were very specific in one instance to go, you know, to be able to prove. And March 23rd of 2023 says Rozier told a friend he'd exit when he would do it. 9 minutes into the game, he was out. So everybody laid the money below the prop bet on that, and he essentially faked an injury.
Yeah, I mean, here's what it makes me think. And again, Brett knows the legalities of this or what the sentence could be, but the reality, the real reality is, if you, I mean, think about this. If you had, there's a prop bet that says Terry Rozier is going to score the over and under, and how many points he's going to score is 8, and Rozier says, okay, tell everybody to take the under, and then he twists his ankle a minute into the game. I mean, you could really control big dollar game or big dollar bets there, and I never thought of. I mean, I never thought about it. But I would think there would have to be strict punishment for that. I mean, never play again, right?
Right.
You could never play again, could you?
Right. That would need to be the case 20 years ago, right? But now it's more important than ever, because who in Jacksonville, Florida could like lay a prop bet that quick on a Miami Heat game, right? Before you can do it now with these apps, right? So you could disseminate information. And one of the things is, you know, we had talked on Sports and Courts a while back where, you know, in a really small game on the West Coast, a couple of players, right, lost their NCAA eligibility, and they went in and put these bets. Well, that'd be easy to ascertain. But what if you could get 1,000 bettors, right, to go lay $100 and do them across the bet and take the things down in all these locations? How could you go and track all the people or what have you? You know, I told you my sons are in college right now. Every one of these young men are playing the parlays and, you know, they're doing the other stuff. That's kind of what you do and how you do it, and you do it on your phone. So the ability to manipulate the system's even greater now than I think it was, you know, 10 or 15 years ago. But no matter what, the core issue is it goes to the integrity of the game.
Would Rozier be in legal trouble if it's proven that he pulled himself without being hurt and because of the gambling implication, obviously his
absolutely.
eligibility would be in question.
Great question.
But legally, is that breaking the law?
Well, it's like as we were driving in, you said, "Hey, how can Mike Norvell get fired?" Right? It's for cause. So the first thing is you would go in and say, "Well, they all know they can't do this. This is something that would be addressed in the collective bargaining agreement, all that. So you could terminate the guy, not owe him any money, and those things are out." What they are really charged here for, and a lot of times what we see, how you get federal jurisdiction is it's a conspiracy to defraud. You're working with other people, then these things take place, either via wire or what have you, and he works with them to go do it. They didn't just out of nowhere allege a specific instance on March the 23rd, where he did that. I guarantee you they have communications between him and the individuals and everybody else there, and then that's why it's going to be criminal. And what all the listeners need to know, nobody wants to get arrested, right, or have a crime. But if you have a crime in, say, state court here in Florida, you're allowed to conduct discovery, get depositions. It sort of unfurls. The lawyers can have, something to do with that. When a federal case like this is brought, they've already done their discovery. Right. The federal government has already got the banking transactions. They already have the text records. They have already downloaded the phones, and you sort of come in and you're already going and hitting the punches. So when this was unveiled, there are probably other instances of this going with Terry Rozier. They have alleged a specific allegation because guess what? They feel really strong about how they're going to get him. And now, as we were just saying, there is all this other electric sort of data type of proof that didn't exist in the past, right? You would need to have these people come in and you'd have to rely on them. Now, you just got to prove that, hey, these digital communications took place, and then prove ID, right, and you've got them.
Further, because my question was the same one Hayes asked, so a further extension of that question. If Terry Rozier was never a gambler, was never... but called someone who he knew was a gambler and said, "Hey, you might want to take the under here. I'm gonna fake an injury." Can he go to jail? And you said if it's what would you call it, defraud or
right? Conspiracy.
He could go. Even though he's just a basketball player, he could go to not obviously never play again. But could he go to jail?
At the end of the day, I don't know that that's necessarily going to be one that they would have to go prosecute. I suspect here in what I had read in the pleadings that there was more manipulations of the whole process.
I get it.
I do think at the end of the day, to go to jail, you would need to see $1 returned to him. Right? Because absent, him profiting from it, I don't see them prosecuting that. But, on the other side, as far as what those legal implications to be, you're out of the game.
Yeah, they said they were counting the money that he won.
Did he personally won?
He was counting the money that he won with the gamblers at his house.
Yeah, because one thing one thing I never knew, and I should have, of all the stories we all watched 8 Men Out and all the, did Shoeless Joe go to jail or he just get kicked out of baseball?
And given that caveat by JJ, you can go to jail.
Right. Did Shoeless Joe go to jail?
I don't think so.
He just got kicked out of baseball, right?
That's my recollection.
And that's indicative of somebody having flipped on him. I
really don't know.
I don't think he went to jail.
So I was thinking the question when you asked it is, beyond getting kicked out of your sport, can you go to jail for stuff like that? And it's intriguing as heck to me. So anyway, all right, great stuff. We appreciate it.
Pete Rose was never in any legal jeopardy in terms of going to jail.
He was never going to jail.
Correct.
He just
correct.
But he didn't also
Well, this is so stupid, too. I know Terry Rozier is not like a huge player in the league, but this just doesn't seem like it's the best financial use, obviously, given all of the risk and reputation. It's kind of bizarre.
2 minutes. Everyone's going to be partying like crazy, Florida-Georgia weekend. 2 minutes of advice from the counselor.
Right. We say it all the time, Uber, right? Don't drive, and here are the reasons why. To get a competent, decent DUI lawyer is probably going to be an initial retainer of $7,500. Okay. If you beat that DUI and you got a reckless, you're still going to spend thousands of dollars in what you would have to do and going through the system. More importantly, if you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, getting an alcohol charge, that's a reason to be terminated in a lot of positions. If you're in pharmaceutical sales, you're out driving or what have you, they see that as a risk. So when you see what the financial ramifications of all of that are, eat the $110, height of, the stuff.
Does DUI
Uber
stay
and
on
getting
your
it in.
DUI stays on your record, right?
Oh yeah, if you end up having to plead to a DUI, much less if you hit somebody and create those harms.
Correct.
That's the type of stuff. Not only do you not want to do it to others, but it's going to radically change your life. So,
what are you allowed to do? Tailgating. What are you allowed to do on the road?
Right.
What are those
so,
rules?
whenever you're on private property, you can always tailgate, during Florida, Georgia, they are not going to go out and arrest you for open container as you're going to and from the stadium. As everybody knows, there's receptacle bins that they keep outside of the stadium. They want you to dispose of that alcohol and to do anything else, but it's on the continuum, right? You can always get arrested for public intoxication, drunk and disorderly. So that doesn't, you can't go out, scream at people. The most important thing you could do is not say something derogatory to law enforcement, right? That's the quickest way for a good day to go south.
And drunk and disorderly is the thing. You
Right.
yell and start causing you can go to jail.
Well, a lot of the officers want to tell you, when I was a prosecutor and we'd have a flood of stuff that would come in from Florida, Georgia, and a lot of times they just really wanted to control the situation with somebody that you couldn't control. And we'd say, well, here's X, Y, or that, and say, hey, you know what? Maybe they beat the charges today, but they didn't beat the ride last night.
Right.
And you don't want to go through that.
Great stuff as always. Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Enjoy the weekend, but enjoy it responsibly. Enjoy your trip to Vegas with your boys. I know you will.
We will.
We'll take a break. More in a moment. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carline here to let you know about my new obsession, Daisy French Onion Dip. If you love eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching football, you'll love new Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip. These are game changers. They're as delicious as a homemade dip made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. You've got to try them. Once you do, you'll be hooked. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. When it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Hey, Hicken here. I know it's too early to talk about the holiday season coming up, but my friends at Beards Diamonds are stocking up like never before. No need to rush it now, but when you are ready, Beards will be ready. This is Jacksonville's local diamond powerhouse. Unlike the other stores in the town center, Beards is not a Wall Street-owned jeweler. Family-owned. Say hi to the Lupos when you go by great folks here in Jacksonville. They run circles around those conglomerate stores that claim to have direct pricing. Beards beats them every day. And if you're wondering about lab-grown diamonds, Beards can teach you. They have natural and lab-grown. And don't forget, Beards has case after case of fashion jewelry. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, colored gemstones, pearls, yellow gold. Bottom line, you don't need to shop anywhere else. Beards is local. They got a massive selection. They stand behind what they sell. They take care of local customers. 100% accountable because they live here. Check them out and you will see Beards Diamonds rocks at the St. John's Town Center.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, you look troubled. Is something bugging you?
This friendship isn't all upside for me, Jason. People keep asking me stuff about you.
They ask you about me?
Is it really cooler with Bueller, they ask? So I say, totally. And they say, how do you mean that? And I say, he fixes air conditioners, which literally makes somebody cool. But he also has cool sunglasses and cool people and a cool family.
And I try to make working at Bueller Air and Plumbing a really cool experience for our technicians and plumbers. We treat our people like gold, and they treat our homeowners the exact same way.
Great. Well, now there's another cool thing I've got to remember. This is a lot of responsibility, Jason.
Life can get hectic sometimes. If you don't take a moment to slow down and appreciate all the cool parts, you could miss it.
Do people ask you about me at all?
Weirdly, they do.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
We sure appreciate our friends from the Nimnick family of dealerships. That means Nimnick Chevrolet on Cass at Nimnick Buick GMC is located on Phillips Highway. Sponsored this program for the longest time. Billy Nimnick, his brother Lee, all those Nimnicks. They take care of us, I promise. They take care of us customers, and they will take care of you as well. And I can guarantee you that is the case. Frangie and Carline, JJ LaSelva with you. Jaguars, Raiders. This is not a get-well game because anybody can beat anybody in the National Football League. But if you're a Jaguar fan, it's been a tough few weeks. The emotion of Kansas City losing and kind of getting out physical by the Seahawks, getting beaten pretty badly by the Rams. Now you got 2 weeks to think about it. Everyone wants to play again. When I say what do you want to see again, well, that's a dumb question. You want them to win the game. I get that. But beyond that, Hayes, what are your hopes? Back to running the ball. Brian Thomas Jr. finds something. Trevor, pass rush. What are the things that stand out to you the most?
Yeah, it's a great question because there's so many things you could pick from. I would say I want to see Trevor Lawrence with a passer rating above 115. What that would tell me is that the drops were probably mitigated because it's hard to see Trevor Lawrence having that kind of statistical rating if his completion percentage is down. And so, that would tell me that they've caught what they should catch. They've made plays. And if he is able to be that efficient through the air, I do think the ground game will be there. So now you've got a very balanced attack. And I'd be surprised if the Raiders can keep up in a shootout the way that offensively they've been going, unless they find some magic coming out of their bye week. So if I could have one thing in this game, I would say Trevor Lawrence with a very healthy passer rating.
Yeah, I love that because that also probably means if his rating's up there, that means yards per attempt are up there, which means they're going down the field some. If your rating is high, yards per attempt is a very important stat in the NFL in terms of growth of your quarterback. Well, if you have a high rating, that means you're not checking it down all day. So that's a great point. The one thing I want to see more than anything else is zero unforced penalties. If you get a holding because the guy beat you, that's not unforced. Okay, if you get a pass interference because the guy's running by you, I can live with it. But these formations, receiver wasn't set, more than 4 men in the backfield. That has to stop. You know what else I want to see, Hayes? I want to see the ball snapped on time. You know what I don't want to see? The play clock running down, 9 on the play clock. As the play-by-play guy, I don't want to hear me say how much time's on the play clock. Because if the play-by-play guy is saying blank on the play clock, that means it's running down.
Right.
Okay, and so what I'm hoping for is get the snap off in good shape, no formation penalties. Again, you're going to have a holding or a pass interference. That's going to happen. But don't have the unforced stuff. That is first and foremost to me is clean up the game a little bit, clean up the act a little. I think that's first and foremost. I want to see Cam Little make his first kick. I don't care where it is. I want to see him make his first kick. And the other thing for me, I know to be who they want to be, they've got to run the football. We all know. We've said they got to run the football to be who they want to be. We all know that. But I'd like to see the ball down the field some, and it kind of goes with what you're saying, because if the ball goes down the field some, those running lanes will open up. I think one of the biggest concerns they've had is they ran the ball to start the season, and, man, they ran right at you. They're physical, and they hit you in the mouth. Well, what do teams do? They see it on tape. They crowd the box. They add a guy. It's not rocket science. You only get 11, okay? So instead of having 4 or 5 in the box, you have 6 or 7. It's not. You don't have to be a scientist to figure out how to fix that. Well, what do you do offensively when people crowd the box? You throw it down the field.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because now there's more
space.
There's space. There's air down the field because everybody defending you is in the box. Well, that's the counter. That's the counter punch in any football game, man. If a team's good at running it, the opposing team knows to crowd the box. Opposing team crowds the box. The other team throws it down the field to loosen the box. I don't think we've seen that. We've seen them run it. We've seen them play physically. We've seen them be a really good takeaway team. The pass rush hasn't been good the last 2 weeks. We've seen them get after the passer. A lot of it with Anthony Campanile's drawing up pressures. What we haven't seen is a proliferation of the balls down the field to keep you from stacking the box. That might be, honest to God, it might be first and foremost for me. We'll talk more Jaguars coming up. Let's take a break. Hayes has headlines after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
When the Dogs and Gators cross the bridge, the world's largest cocktail party becomes a fight on the First Coast.
There's something special about the game being in Jacksonville. The stadium split right down the middle.
Will the Gators bring the swamp to the 904? Or will the Dogs hedge another victory? It's the chump of the swamp and the bark of the dogs. Florida and Georgia, Saturday at 3:30 on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010 XL.
Welcome to the bundle event. Entering now our undisputed tag team champions, the mid-size SUV and the mid-century modern. Together with a State Farm agent, this auto and home duo are a powerful force of savings, service, and customizable coverage. Now, let's get ready to bundle.
Call State Farm agent Margie Williams in Jacksonville at 904-296-2500.
Availability and amount of discounts and savings vary by state.
Divorce, menonly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to divorcemenonly.com. Divorcemenonly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
After the lights go down on Friday night, 1010XL flips the switch.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, Friday Night Lights.
With Hacker and Dylan Denmark. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades. And then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
Hey, so where do we tee off? Tee it high and let it fly.
He's got a beautiful backswing.
Oh, he got all of that one.
Tour news, local updates, and the latest gear. Cut a few strokes off your game Saturday mornings at 10 with the Edwin Watts Golf Hour on 1010XL.
Congrats to former Florida special teams ace Brandon James and safety Todd Johnson's induction into the Florida Georgia Hall of Fame. Friday, October 31st, presented by Miller Electric. To attend, go to flgajax.com/Hall of Fame.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season is finally here, and with that, hopefully comes cooler weather. And if you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space and just haven't pulled the trigger, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures right now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business. Give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
Want a fresh and flavorful tailgate this season? Chicken Salad Chick has scratch-made Southern-style chicken salad perfect for lunch, parties, and your tailgate. Order 3 ways at one of 4 area locations. Call 1-833-MY-CHICK or online at chickcatering.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
We certainly appreciate our friends at Harrell and Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Let's start with a Jaguars flashback, Frank. A little unorthodox for headlines, but I think it's warranted because on this day back in 2017, the Jaguars traded for defensive tackle Marcel Darius, sending the Bills a 6th-round pick. Darius was a fantastic addition that season. That was the special Saxonville 2017 season. They couldn't stop the run. They added Marcel Darius, who was the Bills had paid an exorbitant amount of money to, and they were ready to get out from under that. So only a 6th-round pick, and Darius made a big difference on stopping the run that season. His last season with the Jaguars and in the NFL was 2019. I was at your house when we found out that Marcel Darius was going to be a Jaguar.
I remember it, and I will tell you this. That was a big part of that team because Malik Jackson was a good pass-rushing tackle. Wasn't necessarily a great run-stuffing tackle, more angular guy. And Marcel Darius, that was the final piece of that really good defensive puzzle. And it was a good puzzle. They were good on defense. I remember it well. That was one of the best in-season trades the Jags have ever made, if not the best.
Absolutely. Yeah, hard to believe 8 years ago today, Marcel Darius trade to the Jaguars. Let's get it to the current Jaguars. The screen game looked so good in training camp and really got off to a pretty good start. And Liam Cohen did a great job with the screen game last year as Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator. But it's been stagnant over the last about month or so. Liam Cohen met with reporters on yesterday and I thought gave a fantastic answer on trying to identify what has gone wrong with the screen game.
Yeah,
Maybe it hasn't been as effective.
Great question. We just got done talking screens today. I think it's a combination of when they're being called and the timing of them. Like every screen has a little bit of a different count to it. Is it a 1 count, 2 count, 3 count screen? You look at screens around the league in terms of when they're being called, you definitely, there's a trend there. And so I think it's a combination. We have athletic offensive linemen and skilled players that can do some things in space. We have got to improve there, but it's just like anything, you're trying to improve but not go reinvent the wheel with them. I think there's some fundamentals and techniques we can improve.
The football people understand the fundamentals and techniques better than you and I do. What we do understand is the first thing he said is when you call it. If you call a screen against a blitz, it's going to go forever. So the trick is the good play callers know when to call them. If you call a screen when a team's sitting back in a soft zone, it's probably not going to do very well. So you want to catch them in man, you want to catch them in a blitz, and so a lot of that's calling screens at the right time. And I think the first thing he said, in terms of fundamentals of how to execute it, that's a football guy thing. But as far as stuff that we watch, you can tell. I can tell you, we call it, we do the play-by-play this way. If you see a blitz, someone calls a screen against a blitz, it's going to be a big play, and that's a big part of that.
Absolutely. Let's get it to around the NFL. Broncos cornerback Patrick Surtain, the reigning defensive player of the year, will miss several weeks with a torn pec. The Jaguars travel to the Broncos on December 21st. So if Surtain is on the back end of the timeline, could be in question, but nonetheless a devastating injury for a Denver team that is off to a 6-2 start.
As good a cornerback as there is in the league.
Absolutely.
He might be the best cornerback in the league today. And, and boy, they're good. There's a handful of teams. The Colts are the story to me. They're legitimately, I don't care who they've played, they're legitimately good. But the Broncos, it happened very quick under Sean Payton and Bo Nix, didn't it? It happened very quick, but that's a big loss, no question.
The Saints are benching quarterback Spencer Rattler in favor of rookie Tyler Shuck. The 1-7 Saints travel to the LA Rams on Sunday.
Yeah, we knew the Saints weren't going to be very good, and neither quarterback's very good, and the team's not very good, and the Saints aren't very good.
And Arch Manning isn't very good,
right,
so New Orleans really having a tough go of it.
It's been a tough road
this season. Carson Wentz is out for the season with a shoulder injury, the Vikings quarterback that was playing in relief of J.J. McCarthy. Frank, I don't know that I've ever seen a player go through more agony than Carson Wentz went through in his last game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say shame on the Vikings. I mean, Carson Wentz is a professional football player, but boy, it was hard to watch him just getting battered in the last game, and no surprise that the injury is season-ending.
Yeah, and it's a bad injury, no question. And listen, the Vikings have a good team. I think the Vikings are one of those teams that people expected to be pretty good, but it turns out the doggone division's very good. The Lions and the Packers are both very good. The Bears are over 500. The Vikings, who people thought were a playoff team, are last in their division, and I don't see a lot of hope for that changing. Despite the great receivers and the greatest receiver in the league, I don't see it changing.
Let's get to Major League Baseball. World Series Game 3 last night. Freddie Freeman walks it off in the 18th inning as the Dodgers win 6-5. Shohei Ohtani dazzled again, going 4 for 4 with 2 home runs and 2 doubles before Toronto was just like, you know what, just walk him the rest of the game.
And 5 walks. I mean, he was on base 9 times.
He's the greatest player to ever live.
Yeah, he is. He really is. I mean, he was on base 9 times. Who's on base 9 times in a baseball game? That's a good month for some guys, and it's a damn good week. He was on base 9 times. It's amazing how good he is.
By the way, he pitches tonight.
Yeah.
Wow.
And oh, by the way, he's pitching tonight.
How about
that?
by
the way, he's the starting pitcher tonight.
That's incredible. I mean, the postseason has just been remarkable that he's had. Do you guys I'm assuming you like the Dodgers tonight, or do you think the Blue Jays can pull themselves off the mat?
Well, give the Blue Jays credit.
It out?
They scored a bunch of runs in the first game and battled like crazy last night. So they've been more feisty, JJ, than I expected in this thing. But I said the Dodgers in 5. Everybody else I talked to said Dodgers in 6. I said Dodgers in 5, so I'm going to stand by that.
I said 5-2, and last night's loss was so demoralizing, man. To play that long, use all your pitchers, and still lose, I can't see them winning again in this series. I hope they do. I hope it's a great series, but I think it'll be in 5.
All right, we will get you out with today's musical nugget of the day. Happy 30th anniversary. How is this possible? To Smashing Pumpkins releasing Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness this week back in 1995. The double album featured 28 songs, all awesome. It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and is certified diamond with over 10 million copies sold. This is Tonight Tonight.
How about that?
30 years.
Great stuff, 30. Every time we do these, I feel older.
It's crazy.
Older. Well done, as always. We'll take a break. More in a moment. 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey folks, you're looking for a dealership that actually makes car buying easy? Well, let me tell you why Nimnick Buick GMC is the place to shop. At Nimnick, you're going to find unbeatable prices, a huge selection of Buicks and GMCs, plus flexible financing that works around your budget. So whether it's a new SUV, a work-ready truck, or a certified pre-owned, they really do have you covered. They back it up with trusted service and transparent deals. So don't wait. Browse all their inventory online at nimnickbuickgmc.com, or you can visit their showroom right off of Phillips Highway. It is a beautiful showroom, really nice people that will treat you right. But the bottom line is this: if you get prices, if you get selection, and you get really good people handling the service, why would you go anywhere else? And I can tell you, I'm not going anywhere else. So who gives you the best deals? and stands behind it to make sure it's a better experience? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnik. We are professional grade GMC.
It's a snapshot in time.
Unbelievable concentration.
But in the end, there's always a play that stood out.
And there's the biggest play of the day.
Listen for the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game on 1010XL.
Hey friends, Frank Frangie here. You know me, I don't mess around when it comes to taking care of business. Well, if your plumbing or AC company is giving you excuses, it's time to make a trade. Call the pros at Duck Duck Rooter. They're the trusted partner for some of the biggest commercial names in Northeast Florida. Their office team keeps billing smooth and their field techs show up ready to fix the problem. Fast and right. Bring in the starters with Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6760. 904-862-6769. Tell them
Sawgrass Asset Management loves this time of year when two decorated teams meet in the world of college football. Every year, we relive the rivalry with great moments from both sides of the big game thanks to Sawgrass Asset Management, specializing in high-quality growth stock and fixed-income portfolios for institutional and high-net-worth investors. The Jacksonville company proud to be involved in the community. That's Sawgrass Asset Management. Log on to saw-grass.com to find out more.
If you have cane fever, you'll get your weekly dose of Miami football on the Hurricane Report.
I'm JJ LaSelva. This season, I'll keep you close to Coral Gables with the Hurricane Report on 1010XL.
Proudly protected by Performance Painting.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Best Bet is #1. That's right, Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war, just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. Learn all the games at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
It's holiday season and it's not too late to find the perfect spot to celebrate with your team. Fourscore is a place that brings the energy, where great food, craft drinks, and unreal vibes meet cutting-edge full-swing simulators. Don't play golf? Do not worry. With over 40 interactive games, Fourscore has something that everyone will enjoy. Perfect for company outings, birthdays, and even private events that go beyond the ordinary. With locations in historic San Marco and centrally located Gate Parkway, Fourscore is ready to make your next celebration unforgettable. Hit the easy button and book your event today at fourscoregolf.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Good Brothers Roofs and Gutters. Last night in the NBA, the Magic lost their third straight to the Philadelphia 76ers, 136-124. Paolo Banchero led the scoring for the Magic with 37 points, 7 boards, and 5 assists, but it was not enough to go against a high-powered Sixers offense as Tyrese Maxey dropped 43. The Magic are off today, but will take on the Detroit Pistons tomorrow at 7. It's 63 degrees at 5 o'clock time in temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. 1010
Take.
The 1010 Take is brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter. Plumbing, septic, and air conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck, duckduckrooter.com. Nothing is as hard to predict as how good a team will be in the NFL. Yeah, there's some you can predict, the really good ones and the really bad ones. But other than that, the story in the NFL that's not getting talked about enough is the Indianapolis Colts. They have not played a great schedule. Their schedule gets much tougher in the second half, as Hayes has pointed out many times. But they're 7-1. They have found they've always had one of the best 2 or 3 running backs in the game in Jonathan Taylor, and he's playing great. They have found their quarterback obviously in Daniel Jones. The Indianapolis Colts have scored 27 more points than anybody else in the league, and that's only because Dallas is 27 points behind them. That's 4 touchdowns. They're within 4 touchdowns. There's only one team within that. They've scored 55 more points than anybody else in the league, which means anybody in the AFC, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 7-1. They've outscored the rest of the conference by 55 points and the rest of NFL by 27 points. An amazing job by Shane Steichen, an amazing job by the Colts. I hate to say it because the Jags have 2 games left against them in their rival, but that's one of the great surprises in the NFL this year, and that's the 10-10 take.
They deserve a ton of credit, and the Colts are legit, but I do think that they're going to take on some water now. At the Steelers, home against the Falcons, then they have a bye, then at the Chiefs, home against the Texans, at the Jags, at the Seahawks, home against the 49ers, home against the Jags, at the Texans. So I think 7-1.
That's a tough schedule.
I mean, they're going to win 10 or 11 games.
but that's
I'm
a
not
tough schedule.
suggesting they're going to lose out. And they, so if for the Jaguars to win the division, I think they're probably going to have to get to 11 to feel great about it. But I could see the Colts going 3-6 against those 9. I mean, I certainly think 4-5 is on the table. So while they have been a tremendous success story, and it is unbelievable the success that they're having with Jim Irsay passing away and his daughter's taking over, and the daughter that's on the sideline and listening in on the headset, and Shane Steichen and all the players that are having such great years. They do deserve a ton of credit for it. It has been sensational. But I do think they're getting ready to come back to the pack. And it doesn't mean that they can't still get into the tournament and go to the Super Bowl. But I don't think we're looking at a team that is going 14-3. So I think you're getting ready to see some adversity hit the Colts, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
It's really interesting to me that I thought the Colts weren't going to be very good. In part, and I hate to say it because he's comes from my beloved alma mater, but I thought Anthony Richardson was going to win that job, and I don't think Anthony's a very good NFL player. And so I thought. So now when you look at the second half of the Jags schedule, not exactly half, but the second part after the bye, I don't think the Raiders are very good. I think the Jags are going to beat the Raiders. I think the Jags are going to have some energy about them. I think they're going to look more like the team we saw early in the season. I think the Jags are going to beat the Raiders. I would be very surprised if they don't win that football game. I would be surprised. But after that, this schedule that looked easy is not. At Houston, I get this sense the Texans have found something, not just because they beat the 49ers. I get that feeling. They're home against the Chargers. Now, I like the Jags at home in a game like that. A team's got to come cross country. But the Chargers are good.
That's a playoff game.
Yeah, it really is. You're at Arizona. I never know what to think of Arizona. I just don't. They'll win at Tennessee. Then you got the Colts. 2 of the last 5 games, you play them twice. So my whole point of the segment is you never know. You never know who's going to be good and who's not going to be good. What you do know is that as far as the Jags schedule goes, the Jets are lousy, the Titans are lousy, and 3 of those last 10 games are against them. That's what I said this yesterday.
With a game against the Raiders and a game against the Cardinals.
That's right. So if you beat the Raiders this weekend, I think they're going to. That gives you 5 wins. And we did this, I think, on Rundown. You and I did it. But if you beat the Raiders, that gives you 5 wins. You've got 3 games remaining against the Titans and the Jets. I would be shocked if they don't win all 3 of those games. So that's 8 wins. Now, can you find 2 or 3 other wins between the to your point, a home game against the Chargers, at Arizona, who's not all that good? Can you split with Indianapolis? That's why my point is you never know, right? You never know who's going to be good and who's going to be bad. You had a hunch the Titans wouldn't be very good. The Jets are going to be lousy until they prove otherwise, right? So, but it's really interesting stuff. I'll say this, and I you know me, I never get too caught up in early season games, but it's not early season anymore. It's the 8th game. Boy, this one's an important one. Boy, this game's important. You're back from London. You're rested. I know they've had an off week too, but you're back from the emotion of the Kansas City game and the physicality 6 days later, the Seahawks game, and then a trip to London that went very poorly, and you catch your breath and you're gone for a while, and now you got 10 straight games here. Boy, that Raiders game's important. Really important.
I think it's huge because the Jaguars are well positioned to add at the deadline But if you lose to the Raiders and you're 4-4 on a 3-game losing skid, James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, and Tony Baselli have to have a serious conversation about, are we still in the market here? Do we still want to trade away future resources in terms of draft picks to add to this team? Maybe you do. Maybe at 4-4, you still feel like you're right in it, and you need that. You need the player even more now. But my guess is if they lose Sunday, you take a hard look at maybe just not making not adding anything else. If you win Sunday and you're 5-3 and the deadline's 48 hours after that, you're 5-3. Well, now absolutely you're motivated to go out there and add something. I mean, we already know that Gladstone has cleared the space. We know they're armed with a litany of mid to late round picks, which is normally what you need in something like this. Again, we just talked about today's the anniversary of Marcel Darius getting traded here. That was for a 6th round pick. So they have all the ammunition they need to add a veteran before the deadline. But if you lose Sunday, harder to justify that, I think, in terms of your resources and spending them. But win and you're 5-3, go get somebody. Go bring them in here. Go, continue to build this roster and make a run at it.
Do you feel like I do that? Again, I'm encouraged and excited about what I think they will do this week. Do you feel that way?
I'm a little apprehensive.
You're more tepid. You're a little tepid, aren't you?
Well, I will say this for the Raiders. They haven't had Brock Bowers pretty much the whole year, and it looks like they will have him Sunday. So obviously he's a game wrecker. I mean, this is only his 2nd year in the league, but as a rookie, I mean, he set pretty much every tight end record that's ever been written. So I think if you're adding Brock Bowers to the equation for the Raiders, and they've got some talent at receiver, the world doesn't really know about them, but they've got some guys in Myers and Tucker that can hurt you. Genty is a rookie, and it's got off to a slow start, but coming out of the bye as the game slowed down for him a little bit. And Geno Smith is sort of playing the opposite of what he has been. He's been a very efficient quarterback over the last 3 or 4 years in Seattle, and now all of a sudden he's gone to the Raiders with his old coach, Pete Carroll. Nothing's really changed, and he's 7 touchdowns, 10 picks. So does he figure that out, or has he just lost his game, which can sometimes happen, particularly for journeyman kind of players in their mid-30s? So, the Raiders, I think there's enough of a variable where with them being at home and coming off a bye too, and they've played a tough schedule as well. They just haven't. They're not like the Jaguars. They don't have a winning record on a tough schedule. There's enough to give me some pause that if the Jaguars play a C-level game, they could absolutely lose the game.
And I don't disagree with that. Number one, it's the NFL.
Yeah. The Jaguars don't even have to play an F game.
Right,
if the Jaguars play an F game, they will lose.
Yeah.
But if they play even like a decent game, they could lose to the Raiders. They need to play well. Now, I think they will play well, and I think they'll beat Vegas. But, yeah, I think there's absolutely a chance for the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm excited about the game. I'm excited about how they'll play. I really believe this, and you're right. I don't know which games they're going to win or lose. You never do in the NFL. But I think the Jags are more the team we saw early than the team we've seen the last 2 weeks. And by the way, it's up to them to prove me right or to prove me wrong. I mean, there's nothing we can do now. It's up to that's where we are, and it's up to them to prove us right or wrong on that. But it is my opinion now that what we saw those first 5 weeks. Remember, they started 4-1, and a horrible official's call, where we practically made up something, stopped them. They would have been 5-0. No official call helped them win any of those 4 games. But a horrendously bad pass interference call that everybody knows was bad, and the league later admitted, from what everyone says was bad, that they're 5-0. So they're a 5-0 football team. Well, I don't care who you play, you don't fall into that. And one of those wins was the Kansas City Chiefs, by the way. Another one of those wins was the San Francisco 49ers. That wasn't a mirage. there's the sample size was too big.
I'd like to have Devin Lloyd Sunday.
Yeah. Well, no question. And then the other, and you got to, you're right. The other part of it is they had guys available in those first 5 games that aren't available now. Brenton Strange among them. Devin Lloyd so far. Trayvon Walker with 2 hands. Trayvon Walker with 2 hands. Brenton Strange and Devin Lloyd on the field, as opposed to no Lloyd, no Strange, and Trayvon Walker with 1 hand. It's a different team. There's no question. And I know injuries are part of football, but it is, so it'll be fun to watch. Let's take a break. Back to SEC football when we come back. Jeff Dantzler joins me from the Bulldog Radio Network after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
There's a key that opens a very special door. The Jaguars locker room. Go in the locker room with Hayes Carline to get closer to the Jags. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
This is Hayes Carline for Atlantic Infinity. The year-end sales event is going on now at Atlantic Infinity. Get 0% interest on select new Infinity models and special lease offers on the stunning QX60. Luxury, performance, and style all in one drive. All new vehicles come with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or go test drive at Atlantic Infinity off Atlantic near St. John's Bluff.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Discuss the beautiful game. The Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Get an hour of soccer talk Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Joe C. here. Want to win 3 free nights up in Nashville for the Titans game? Come stay where I'll be staying at the Omni Nashville, right in the heart of the action. Just text GAME to 641-1010 and you're in to win 3 nights. That's GAME to 641-1010.
Hey, First Coast, it's your boy Leon Searcy, your lemon pepper guy. Back and better than ever for Wingstop. You know I can't resist those crispy, flavorful wings that make your taste buds dance. Wingstop just opened a hot new spot on Jeremiah Street in Middleborough. There's 17 locations, now serving up the most mouth-watering wings in town. And my all-time favorite, lemon pepper. Try their new quick and easy ordering on the app and swing by today for fresh, hot wings made for you. Only at Wingstop.
Football season is all about hanging at home and watching the big ball games. Well, if your AC and heating unit is letting you down and keeping those electric bills sky high, think about getting a new energy-efficient AC unit from Florida Home AC. They've got great deals on replacements plus rebates and incentives to make it more affordable. Call Florida Home AC at 777-4300 and get their expert staff to take a look. Football season is all about fun and playing for the win. Make sure you have the winning team on your side with Florida Home AC.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken180.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Time now for the SEC Update with Jeff Dantzler from the Bulldog Radio Network and the Superstations. Presented by Underwood Jewelers. Here's Frank and Jeff.
All right, this is the week. Jeff and I, our blood starts boiling a little bit. We don't sleep quite as well. We get more excited. Jeff, I know you're excited about it. Where does this week rank for you among the 52? Is it one? Is it number one for you among the 52?
It's right up at the top. I think this is the game we're most excited about. My most nervous week is the Tech week. I mean, I'm a train wreck that week because it's one of those things. To quote a friend of mine one time, back when Florida was really good, and this is not me talking, this is my buddy Rob from Fitzgerald, Georgia. He goes, if you lose to Florida, at least I got respect for Florida. If you lose to Tech, you're losing to losers. So anyway, of course, Tech's really good this year, but yeah, that's the beauty of college football. But there is nothing like this game and the momentum swings and the adrenaline bumps. And Frank, I think the most unique thing about it is that it's always loud in there, whether it's a one-sided game or whether it's usually close like it almost always is.
And Jeff, for people that don't know, Jeff's from Statesboro and spends a lot of time in St. Simon, so he's a South Georgia guy, and we're North Florida people. Jeff, I think we understand that game better than the guy in Conyers. You know what I mean? I think we get the. Don't you guys that have been around where you and I are from? Don't you understand? Do you believe that in the Bulldog Nation, South Georgia Bulldogs get that maybe more than the others do?
I completely agree, and I've always said that with Georgia geography. Tech's the game you got to win. It's in state. But if you're from Augusta, Clemson and South Carolina is so big. From LaGrange and Columbus, that Auburn game. If you're from up in Rome and Dalton, the Tennessee game. But if you're from Southeast Georgia, and just like if you're a Florida fan from North Florida, with that game being in Jacksonville, which in many ways is an extension of Southeast Georgia, I always tell people that's where the South ends, is in Jacksonville. I get it, Florida's technically in the South, but Naples is not in the South, let's face it. It doesn't have much in common with Ludowici, Georgia.
Right.
But you talk about this game for North Florida and Southeast Georgia people, it's just extra special.
Now, next year, the next 2 years, we've got Tampa and Atlanta. I know you wanted home and home. The obviously, the reason it's Tampa and Atlanta, the same reason it's Jacksonville. For a home game, a team makes about $4 million. For a road, they make nothing. So in that 2-year stretch, they make $4 million. In this game, they'll make $6 million a year, so it's 12 over a 2-year stretch rather than 3 or 4, which is why the game's not going home and home. But I know, make your case. You really hoped it would be home and home, didn't you, Jeff?
Well, I like the game being in Jacksonville, but I was hoping the 2 years that it wasn't there, it would be like 1994 and 1995.
Right.
Different results, hopefully, when the game was in Athens and Gainesville. But I get it, and that is way above my pay grade. But I do love the game staying in Jacksonville, and I just think it's one of the great traditions of all time, and I think we'll all be excited when it's back there in 2028. But we definitely need to savor this one.
In 95, when Florida went up there, again, that was a stretch where Florida was good and Georgia wasn't as good. But Florida went up there in 95. For people that don't know, I've told this story many times. Florida won the game kind of easily. And then Jeff Dantzler dragged me to some pub in Athens, and we watched the Braves. Remember that, Jeff? Jeff dragged me.
We had a great time.
We went and watched the Braves win the championship that same night, right?
Yeah, we had a great time. Florida won 52-17.
Right.
And the year before, Florida had won in Gainesville 52-14. And we had a player asked after the game if he felt like the program, there was a term that Coach Dooley had coined to whether there was going to be a coaching change or not, to whether Georgia had shown significant improvement. And he said, well, we did get 3 points closer. And I said, well, hell, at this rate, in about 15 years, we're going to have a shot.
That's exactly right. So those were the good times for the Gators. It's been a streaky series, no question about it. All right, let's stay on the game for a second. And I know because you were raised with Vince Dooley football, you always think there's a concern the other guy can win. And obviously there will be some unknowns. Obviously, Florida, Phil, you sometimes have an energy with an interim coach. Having said all that, I think the 7-point line or whatever it is way low. I think Georgia's got the best team in the country. I think Georgia's going to win the national championship. I said that to a group I spoke to today. I think this game is not close. What do you see? I mean, what is your expectation for Florida Georgia on Saturday, Jeff?
I think it's a very close game, Frank. I just look around the league, and I think all these teams are about the same. And I'll use Texas for example. Texas lost to Florida, who has a losing record. Texas was preseason number 1. They beat Mississippi State and Kentucky in overtime. The number of one-score games, it was 5 out of 7 games last week. And what the new elements of college football have done, you just cannot assemble the rosters that Steve Spurrier, that Urban Meyer, that Nick Saban, that Kirby Smart earlier in his career, as recently as 2 years ago, were able to assemble. And then I think you've got the factor of the unknown. Kirby and I were talking on Monday, and I don't know. They might come out and run the wishbone, might run the run and shoot. Probably not, but you just don't know. And Billy Gonzalez is a really good football coach. I mean, this guy's been around the SEC a long time. Kirby told me, because I know he's been a running backs coach and a receivers coach, Kirby's probably gone head-to-head with this guy, I don't know, probably 10 times in his career between Georgia and Alabama. So there's a tremendous amount of respect there. That Florida defense is really good. Lagway can make plays, and Florida's got talent at running back, and those freshman receivers are really good.
It's going to be a fun game. It's always fun. I love Florida, Georgia. I love the week. I don't get to go to many of them anymore because we travel, and I'll be in Vegas getting ready for the Raiders game. But I'm like you, Jeff. I love the game. We'll see again, I think Georgia maybe a little more comfortably than you do, but we'll see what winds up happening. Let's go around the league a little bit. What's wrong with Texas? And Texas clearly should have lost last week. A 79-yard punt return near the end of the game. They probably should have lost to Kentucky. Is it just Arch? Is Sark over his head? Were they overrated? What's your read on Texas, Jeff?
I think it could be a lot of everything, and I think a lot of it has to do with Arch, and then you don't know, are there locker room problems with the celebrity quarterback? I think Coach Spurrier called it out when he said, well, let's I'm going to give my best. I love Coach Spurrier. He goes, well, he didn't beat out a guy who was a 7th-round draft choice. That ought to tell you something. I'm like, yeah, it might. And I'll be honest, when Georgia recruited him heavily, I was glad we didn't get him because there's just something to go along with that celebrity quarterback. So I think there's some issues there, but they're still hanging around. They are so talented. I mean, you look at that defense, you look at what they've got on the offensive line, Frank, they've got players everywhere. They just don't seem to have that connection, but they're also one of those teams, I would think, if you're talking about the playoffs, you would kind of like for somebody to go ahead and just knock them out, because a team like that hangs around, if they do start clicking, they could get really dangerous.
I want to ask you about Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss I was really impressed last week. If there was ever a letdown game, it was last week. Oklahoma's not great, but they're pretty good. And Ole Miss came back and just squelched them at the end of the game. I mean, they pulled away at the end. Ole Miss has one loss. I think their only loss is to the best team in the country on the road. I think Ole Miss is really good. And I didn't buy them. I didn't buy them, Jeff, because it's freaking Ole Miss, right? So somewhere along the line, they can't be as good because they're not a blue blood. I think Ole Miss is really good. What do you think?
I do, too. I mean, the game in Athens, they had Georgia down and out. They were up by 9. I was starting to think, good gosh, is there any way we could win out to somehow get in? I think they're an 11-1 football team. They've got tremendous quarterback play. And their defense, we all know defensive stats, you have to measure them differently now. They come up with a lot of negative yardage plays. So I think Ole Miss is at worst a 10-2, an 11-1 type team. I thought they were the second most impressive team in the league this past Saturday.
Yeah, and A&M probably is going to get your vote for most impressive. Why are they so good? How did A&M get this good this fast?
I don't know. They've been the team that's typically, as a couple of friends of mine used to say, big hat, no cattle.
Yeah.
I mean, they've only finished in the top 10 2 times this century. Johnny Manziel in 2012 and then the COVID year in 2020 with Kellen Mond. They look like the best team in the country to me Saturday night. And, Frank, I know you watched it. That first half was a disaster. They had 3 terrible plays. They probably should have been up 2 or 3 touchdowns. Right. They're down 4 points. They didn't flinch. That offense, they can score in any way. And you talk about a pass rush, a team that comes up with negative yardage plays. Now, there's a long way to go, and obviously a lot can happen. but we've seen great teams through the years. That looked like a national championship caliber team to me on Saturday night.
Yeah, me too. Totally agree. I did watch it. I totally agree with you. So what happens at LSU now? Brian Kelly is out. I don't sense there's a Kiffin sweepstakes. I think Lane Kiffin, if Florida wants him, and I sense that they will decide between his heartstrings, because I think he dearly loves Ole Miss and appreciates what they've done for him. His family's there the whole bit. And I think he's always been infatuated with Florida. So I think Lane Kiffin, in my opinion, comes down to Florida or Ole Miss. I don't sense that LSU all that excited about him or vice versa. I could be wrong. What do you think? And what happens at LSU now?
The read on that, obviously Lane Kiffin is the big domino here. If he chooses to stay at Ole Miss, then the question is which direction does Florida go? And you put up a great Twitter post the other day. Could Eli Drinkwitz be in play? Absolutely. To me, if you want to start really getting interesting in this, let's talk about Vanderbilt and Georgia Tech being in the top 10.
Yeah.
Both of their head coaches, it's their alma mater. So is Clark Lee looking to leave Nashville? Is Brent Key looking to leave Tech? Because this is one, Frankie, and going back to what you're saying about Blue Bloods, if somebody would have told you 4 years ago that Vandy, Ole Miss, and Tech would all be in the top 10,
right?
I was spending too much time at the Landing with Shane Matthews back in the early 90s. I mean, come on.
You're exactly right. I'm with you, bro. And that's what's going to make it interesting. And speaking of guys at their alma mater, Clark Lee and Brent Key are. So is Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. And the best of the bunch to me is Jeff Brom, who's at Louisville. All of those guys are at their alma maters, and all of those guys are going to be pursued. All four of them are going to be pursued by somebody's blue blood, because Penn State's open, and Florida's open, and LSU's open, and Auburn's going to come open. FSU could come open. So I mean, those are big time programs. So I mean, it's going to be crazy. Do you have anybody you like for the LSU job? Anybody that jumps off the page for you of all the guys we just mentioned?
I think it's going to be one of those names you just mentioned. I do think Eli Drinkwitz is an X factor here. I think he's really good. I think he's done a good job at Missouri. I think he's quirky. I think Brian Kelly's a good coach, but he was a terrible fit.
Yeah.
And Frank, you've been around this a long time. For most situations, most coaches that are in the conversation to qualify for a job like Florida, LSU, they're going to be a capable football coach. It comes down to if you're a fit or not. Brian Kelly clearly was not a fit at LSU.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it showed out, and now he's out of work, and they're out of a coach. Let's get to some games this week. I think the most intriguing game might be. I mean, I love Florida Georgia. Florida Georgia's not intriguing to me. I'm pretty comfortable. I think what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen in that game. Vanderbilt and Texas is. Vanderbilt at Texas. I mean, Vanderbilt's on the road at Texas and might win. Who do you like in this game? What do you see here?
I keep picking against Vanderbilt. I took Missouri against Vanderbilt. I took LSU against Vanderbilt. I watched with the open date last week. I watched probably more of Vandy, just watching that whole Missouri game that I'd seen all year. Pavi is obviously a guy. We know that. What stands out to me, Frank, is that defense can really run. I mean, they are really good. They are stout and physical up front. I guess my right brain and left brain, how in the world can I pick Vanderbilt to win at Texas? It wouldn't stun me, though. I'm with you.
Yeah. But I'm making you pick somebody. You picking Texas?
I'll take Texas.
Yeah.
I can't pick Vanderbilt over Texas. You know me, I live in the past. It's like it's 1981.
Bro, I'm right. Listen, I picked Vanderbilt over Missouri and LSU, but I can't pick them over Texas either. I don't know why, but I'm kind of right with you. I'm living in the past with you. Oklahoma is at Tennessee. Who do you like there?
Tennessee. I think Oklahoma. They really needed this past Saturday to hang in there. By the way, this is one too. Not conspiracy theorist. But if I'm an Oklahoma fan, and Frank, I think we talked about this summer, I would look at OU's schedule versus Texas's schedule and say, how did that happen?
Right. And we did talk about it. You're exactly right. So it'll be interesting to see. Auburn plays Kentucky. You don't have to pick that because I don't really care who wins that. Arkansas, same thing with Mississippi State. So it's going to be an interesting week. I do care about Ole Miss at home against South Carolina. Could that be a letdown game? I mean, Ole Miss has had some emotional games now. Could that one get sticky at home for the Rebels?
Potentially, but I think Ole Miss is just better. They've got more firepower. And speaking of coaching movements, you got to think Shane Beamer's got to think about pulling that parachute and looking at that Virginia Tech job.
You got to wonder, right? Even though he says no, you got to wonder, has he done about all he can do at South Carolina? It's going to be interesting to see. It's Florida-Georgia week. Jeff and I have a great time talking about that. That comes up this Saturday. Jeff, we appreciate it, brother. Talk soon. Take care, man.
All right. Love you, my friend. You're the best, Frank. Thanks so much.
Jeff Dantzler from the Georgia Bulldog Radio Network. I will tell you the story, Hayes, that before we break, Jeff's one of my dear friends in the business. In 1988, when I was covering Georgia as a sports writer, he was a student just coming into his own. And I went to Claude Felton and those guys said, "Look, you got something special here. And I mean, you got a guy. This guy's going to be, and he's become one of the great the real good broadcasters in North Georgia, very respected. And he's always, hey man, I really appreciate that you stuck your neck out for me way back in the day. We became really good friends. That '95 game, Florida went up there and gutted them. You know, I didn't remember Jeff remembered the scores, but I can remember afterwards. My guy, and he's one of my dear friends. He was bummed. So I said, here's what we're going to do. If he's a big Braves fan, right? We're going to find me a pub. We're going to go watch the Braves win their first World Series. J.J. LaSelva was 5. You probably don't remember that at 5 years old, I'm guessing.
I don't.
Okay. But we're going to go watch him win the World Series and cheered him up. He was depressed the whole time. But at least he got to watch Greg Maddux and the Braves win I think it was Maddux pitch. I don't remember who it was, but the Braves win the World Series. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here from my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now is a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
You've probably heard the saying, it's not how hard you get hit, it's whether or not you get back up. Well, I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and I have a saying of my own. If you get hit with a personal injury or wrongful death, hit back and fight to make them pay. At Hastings Injury Law, we have the experience you want if you or a loved one suffer a car or trucking accident or wrongful death. Just call 904-HIT-BACK and we'll help you get up and hit back. Office is Jacksonville.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipeline. It's not just annoying when your toilet keeps running long after you flush, it's also costly because it could waste hundreds of gallons of water a day. A running toilet's often caused by worn-out flappers, corroded valves, or a faulty float. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining will fix the problem fast, which can help lower your water bill. Stop the running and start saving today. Make the superior choice when your toilet won't stop running, and learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? During our fall savings month, get 20% off your replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, or 0 interest for 12 months. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida homes, designed to help you save on energy bills by maintaining indoor temperatures year-round. Offer ends October 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Anderson, where comfort meets savings.
I'm with Brett from Cycles of Jacksonville, and the fall part of the year just offers so much fun, especially when you're out and about. Tell everybody what's happening with Triumph right now.
They have got a lot of new models on the road, from Scrambler 400s. They've got the legendary Rocket motorcycle. Lots of really cool bikes to choose from.
And the price point and all the tricks that come with the Triumph bike, they're all there.
They're all there. Entry level to the greatest of the great. We've got them.
Look for them online, cyclesofjacksonville.com. Check out their Facebook page or that showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Football season is here, and the Hills Grill at Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to enjoy our tailgate menus and drink specials every Saturday and Sunday. Join us after your round and cheer on your favorite team. That's Hidden Hills Golf Club, Monument Road.
Strap in, Duval. The Jaguars are gearing up to face the Los Angeles Chargers Sunday, November 16th for our annual Salute to Service game. Join us as we honor and celebrate the brave men and women of our military all game long. Secure your seats now and be a part of the action by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Let's stand together, Duval.
This is Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. I'm honored to join Operation New Uniform as the guest speaker for their 70th graduation. This milestone event is more than a ceremony. It's a testament to faith, perseverance, and purpose. Operation New Uniform helps service members and veterans find purpose, confidence, and success after service. Join us as we honor these remarkable graduates and the mission that empowers heroes to find their next calling. Register today at onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, where have we been on the program today? I'll tell you where we've been. We've talked a little Jags and Raiders, the significance of this game for Jacksonville after an off week, after not a very good performance in London, after 2 losses in a row. I think you're going to see a lot of energy for them. We'll certainly talk about that. Jeff Tandler stopped by to talk SEC football and a lot about the Florida-Georgia game and the magic of what it is. Certainly talked about that today. We talked a little bit about the World Series earlier, even about FSU and Wake Forest on the program today. And we started the show with Brett Hastings talking about that crazy NBA story about illegal gambling and players and coaches. I mean, a sitting head coach being suspended indefinitely. Crazy, crazy stuff. And that's where we've been over the course of the program today. Want to talk some NFL?
Let's do it. JJ, let's kick this thing off in Cincinnati.
Hall, boy, thought about it, now tosses to the end zone, and he's got Taylor for the Jets touchdown.
The New York Jets stunned Cincinnati 39-38, outscoring the Bengals 23-7 in the fourth quarter. Jets running back Breece Hall ran for 2 touchdowns and threw a touchdown as New York won its first game to get to 1-7. Just a devastating loss for the Bengals, who dropped to 3-5. These are the kind of losses that haunt you when the playoff race comes around.
Well, but for the Jets, it's all about solutions. They figured out the problem. They had the wrong guy throwing the ball into the end zone.
Right.
Now they've solved it, so look for Breece Hall. I got him 21 out of 28 next game for about 230. That's what I got.
Yeah, let's head it to Houston.
3rd down and 7. Pressure coming. Stroud stands in, finds the open man, down the sideline, into the end zone. Xavier Hutchinson with the touchdown.
Here come the Texans. Quarterback C.J. Stroud found his groove, throwing for 318 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Texans beat the 49ers 26-15. The Texans are now 3-4, while San Francisco dropped to 5-3.
Yeah, I worried that the Texans are finding something. They're a better team than they played early on. C.J. Stroud's a better player than he had been. That was First Coast own Xavier Henderson, by the way, with that touchdown. I worry about them. All of a sudden, the division's pretty good. Would you be shocked if 3 of the 4 teams finished with over 500 records?
I still think the Texans are going to not get there because the schedule is so brutal for them. But they are, to your point, they have gathered some momentum. Yeah, Big game for Houston Sunday. They host the Broncos.
Gigantic game. You're exactly right about that. So, but I fear they're finding something. We'll see.
Speaking of the Broncos, we're on to Denver.
Down the field, end zone found. Oh, what a catch! That's Bryant, the rookie, with his first NFL touchdown.
Broncos quarterback Bo Nix threw 4 touchdown passes and leading Denver to a 44-24 win over Dallas. The Broncos are now 6-2 and in first place in the AFC West. The Cowboys fell to 3-4-1.
A minute ago, did I just say a Jacksonville guy scored a touchdown?
Yeah.
Couldn't possibly be a second. Did we just have a second Jacksonville guy score a touchdown? Hey, you know what?
Pretty
Duval
good
represents out there, so Denver's good. Denver's legitimately good now. I mean, they could make a deep run.
Because remember, they could be 7-1 if not for the leverage on the Colts field goal.
It should be 7-1.
Yeah. Let's get it to Pittsburgh.
From the 16 to Kraft, the tight end with Luckett. Kraft inside the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown. Tucker, Kraft. Pressure coming. He picked it up. Inside. Kraft's got it. At the 10. Kraft running away to the end zone. He has 2 touchdowns.
Packers quarterback Jordan Love turns in one of the best performances of his young career, guiding Green Bay to a 35-25 win over the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Love completed 20 straight passes at one point, finishing 29 of 37 with 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tight end Tucker Kraft, who you heard in that highlight, had 7 catches for 143 yards and 2 scores. Green Bay improved to 5-1-1, while Pittsburgh dropped to 4-3.
Yeah, I really, and I've been telling you this, I don't think Pittsburgh's very good. Part of that is, look, when I followed the Steelers really closely, which was 15 years ago and beyond, I mean, before that I followed them very closely. This is the team. This team's nowhere near those teams.
They're slow.
Yeah, they're just not a very good team, and so I think Green Bay's pretty damn good, as is everybody in that division. But I was not at all surprised by that outcome, even with the game in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and again, a big test Sunday for the Steelers as they host Indianapolis, so that'll be a lot of fun. JJ, let's close things out in Arrowhead.
But Kansas City continuing to hit their stride, no doubt, as Rice makes the catch for the touchdown.
Patrick Mahomes dominates on Monday Night Football as the Chiefs continue their hot streak, defeating Washington 28-7. Mahomes threw for 299 yards with 3 touchdowns. Kansas City is now 5-3. The Commanders, who were without quarterback Jaden Daniels, fell to 3-5. It was a pretty competitive game early on. I give Washington a lot of credit. They really brought the fight to Kansas City, but the Chiefs just way too talented.
I watch more baseball, but I will tell you, it's not fair to compare or to assess the Commanders without Jaden Daniels. Not only is he good, but he's so much a part of what they do offensively. But the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs. I mean, they're coming off a 31-0 win. I mean, the Chiefs are. The Chiefs are really good because, of course, the Chiefs are really good. That's the bottom line.
That's right. That's going to do it for us.
Well done, as always. We'll be back to wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
NFL Week 9 begins on Thursday night. The Miami Dolphins in South Florida hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams with 2 wins on the season. Ravens expected to have Lamar Jackson back at quarterback. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury this season, and they are a 7.5-point road favorite in South Florida, minus 120 against the spread. The Dolphins getting the 7.5 or even money. On the money line, Baltimore minus 450. The Dolphins plus 340, and the over-under in the contest is at 50.5. Baltimore running back Derrick Henry plus 200 to have 2 or more touchdowns. Miami quarterback Tua Tagovailoa minus 500 to throw at least 1 score.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, KeysOfProgress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Business owners, are you tired of getting the runaround from your plumbing or AC vendors? Fire them now and call Duck Duck Rooter. Duck Duck Rooter is the trusted partner for some of the largest commercial companies in Northeast Florida. From a professional accounting office that makes contracts and invoicing seamless to highly skilled field technicians who fix the problems fast, they handle it all. Make the smart move today with Duck Duck Rooter. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, JohnAutomotiveJacks.com.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. You know that other Frangie? Well, he's my dad. But I'm here to tell you about how much I appreciate the Awaken 180 weight loss program and how it's changed my life. Like a lot of folks, I let myself go a little. Not proud of that, but it happens. And I wasn't sure what to do. I've tried a lot of other weight loss programs, but they just didn't work. Not like Awaken 180. Can you believe I've lost 70 pounds in less than 4 months? With Awaken 180, there's no medication, no shots, and no side effects. And best of all, really fast results. You eat the food that's provided, and it's really good food. You work with a coach on a regular basis who guides you through the whole process. I'm never hungry. In fact, I never feel like I'm sacrificing anything. Just living a totally normal life. That's my new normal. And now, in October, they're offering free consultations. So there's no reason not to call them and learn more. Call them at 844-346-1800, or you can visit awaken180.com. It really has changed my life, and I bet it'll change yours too. That's Awaken180.
Pick it here for Zero Res. Are you scared of ghosts? Of course you're not. They aren't nearly as scary as some of the things that Zero Res sees in those air ducts. Ducks straight out of a horror film filled with spooky ducks. Gross dander, creepy cobwebs. Which is why Zero Res is here to banish monsters hiding in your vents. Don't be afraid of ghosts. Be afraid of what's in your air ducts. Call Zero Res today and take advantage of our October special. Mention 1010XL. They're offering 15% off duct and dryer vent cleaning. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Plan ahead this year and order your home holiday decorating from Kuhn Flowers. They'll take care of all your Christmas tree setup, lighting, and decorating hassles. This is Frank Frangie. Call on Kuhn Flowers. They'll do it all this fall.
Winter and spring registration is already cranking up at I-9 Sports, and if you have kids ages 3 to 17, I-9 Sports is inviting you to get them on the field or in the gym with great sports like girls flag football. Plenty of places to play like Oakley, Fleming Island, UNF, Fletcher, and Creekside. Log on to i9sports.com and see all the sports they have to offer across the First Coast. In Duval, Clay, and St. John's. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. Registration open right now for winter and spring sports at i9sports.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Kind of hungry. You want to give away some food?
Let's do it.
Real
This
food.
is fancy food, too.
Tell me where are we going?
Our friends at the farm at Okefenokee. You've heard Frank talking about them for a while now on air, and me as well. We got to tour it a couple months back, and it is just fantastic. Can't wait to go back. And every month they do this big dinner. And so we've been giving away tickets here and there. So the next dinner is November 8th. That's a Saturday. The date is fixed. So please don't call if you can't go on November 8th, because there isn't any other event to take you to. And they want to make sure that whoever wins attends the dinner. So if you're free November 8th and you want to go get an incredible dinner and an incredible experience at a really cool property, give us a call right now at 641-1010. You'll be winning a pair of tickets. So you and a guest go to the farm at Okefenokee. It's about an hour north of here in Folkston, Georgia. Again, incredible property, and you will have an amazing dinner. Congaree and Penn are the culinary experts there, and you'll have a wonderful time. And if you want more information, you can find out about the farm at Okefenokee at okefarm.com, okefarm.com.
And you're going to be blown away when you see what it's like up there. It's really cool. You and I kind of fell in love with it when we got up there, so I think we're going to make another trip up there. So
absolutely. Do we want caller number 4 since it's Game 4 of the World Series tonight?
Oh, caller number 4. Well done, as a matter of fact. So, JJ, you'll be locked in.
Caller number 18 for the amount of innings we'll have tonight.
Oh, my goodness.
But again, that dinner is Saturday, November 8th. So if you can make it, if you're free, we'd love for you to win the tickets and go get a chance to experience it.
Yeah, absolutely right. So it's exciting stuff. All right, we got a lot of stuff. What a good college football weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a really good college football weekend. We'll do our picks. By the way,
I think there's going to be some carnage on Saturday. We didn't have any upsets this past weekend.
Right.
We had some scares. I think this Saturday we're going to have some carnage. We're going to have a couple come out of nowhere.
Yeah. By the way, how did and no, Ryan picks do not count for me on any way, shape, or form.
Well, that's a good thing for us because he hit like 3 game picker uppers.
Okay. Like I said, we're going to count Ryan's picks. Okay. like I've said all along, I really like the idea of counting Ryan's picks, and I'm glad we decided to do that. I had no idea. Did he really?
It was he was like it was he.
I had no idea how he did.
I don't have the numbers, but I think he got like half right, half wrong.
Well, yeah.
But he did get like 3 right, where he was the only one that had it.
I heard 1 minute of it, and he picked Pittsburgh to beat Green Bay, and I'm thinking, I thought this guy covered the league. Okay, what the hell? Didn't he cover the league? So anyway, hey, we got a celebrity.
How about this?
Want to say hello to a celebrity?
Absolutely.
Let's say hello.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
My guy Hacker. I love Hacker. I never get to see you. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Good to see you, man.
Things are going well.
Life good? You're good? You're all right? Disney was good?
Yeah. I don't get a Jaguar, Gator, Seminole bye week very often, so I took advantage of that. And Forrest and Heidi took me down for my birthday, so that was fun.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy
thank
birthday.
you. Yeah, tomorrow, 42, Frank. You
How
believe
about
that?
You're 42.
I'll be 42 tomorrow.
You're old. Good. I'm glad you're old now. I'm glad you're old.
Yeah.
42's the new 23.
Yeah.
That's what I like to tell myself. Yes.
So about 2-3 weeks ago, Little Hack made my walk-off office.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did you know that? Oh, yeah, Little Hack was out there.
Oh, that's great.
We dragged Little Hack out. Little Hack is the best. He's got personality. He kind of took over the office, okay? Hacker and I just kind of said, is that true? Is that a true story?
Yeah.
Hacker and I just kind of sat back, and Little Hack ran the show.
Good.
He was phenomenal.
And shame on me. I had not been out there before. What a place that is.
You hadn't been there?
I had not been there.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable what you've done out there.
Well, I appreciate it. It's a great city park, the Bregan Baseball Complex, and the whole Fort Family Athletic complex. We're very proud of it. It was great seeing you out. But I do have to tell you one story. Were you going to? Was it ice cream? You were going to get something?
He wanted to get you have a soft drink thing right next to the office.
But you went to get something.
Yeah. It was ice cream. Yes, it was.
But anyway, so we're going to get. They're going to get. So Little Hack. How was he? Is he 6? 7?
He's 6. Yeah.
He's 6. So we were laughing and talking. So where are you going now? And he goes, I'm going to get ice cream, and he points at Hacker, and he goes, and that guy's paying for it.
That guy's paying for it, yeah.
It was phenomenal. He goes, and that guy's paying. I said, he's figured it out. That guy's paying for it.
He's got personality. What I always love is when he gets an unhappy face at school because he's been talking too much.
Right.
And I'm sitting there thinking, well, what am I going to tell the kid? I mean, it's all I do every day is talk.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's cool. So, hey, is Kiffin your guy? You
yes.
love Brent Key, don't you?
I would love Brent Key. I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either.
And because I don't think that's going to happen, I guess Kiffin's my guy. I'm skeptical as if that's going to happen or not, though. I think Eli Drinkowitz is in play. I think LSU, if they want Lane Kiffin, they're probably going to get Lane Kiffin.
I don't think that, and B, I don't have any reason to believe they want him. I don't buy by the way, this whole what job is better thing. Well, the reality is there's not a dividing line between Florida, LSU, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio State. There's about 8 or 9 jobs. Nobody can say which one's better.
For whatever reason, the national narrative really seems to be hammering the fact that LSU is better, though, and I don't know why.
Based on what? They both have 100,000 seat stadiums. They both have 3 national titles in the last 25 years. They both have a lot of players. It makes no sense.
I guess they're saying Louisiana's their state. We're in Florida. You got the Knowles and the Hurricanes.
I got news. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State are getting players out of both states. So is Texas. But anyway, for what it's worth. So that's my pushback on that. And by the way, I don't think Florida's a better job than LSU. I don't think Florida's a better job than Georgia. But I don't think Georgia, LSU, Alabama are a better job than Florida. Those 8 to 10. Would you say that's how many?
Yeah. Again, the way I say it is, you don't leave Florida for LSU, and you don't leave LSU to go to Florida.
Yeah,
they're both on the same level. It just is. It's literally choosing between a blonde or a brunette. It's like, what's your type? And for every coach, that's going to be different. But they're the same level of hotness.
Right. So there you go. There's that. What's coming up tonight?
Conor O'Gara, Saturday down south.
Ooh, you're not talking any college football.
A little bit.
You're not taking SEC football, are you?
No, a little cocktail party. They are actually playing a game on Saturday, so we'll talk a little bit about that.
We kind of joked about that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the game is going to be played. So we'll talk to Conor O'Gara, also D-Rock, Mike DeRocco, ESPN.com. So we're loaded till 8 o'clock tonight.
All right. Sounds good. That Hacker comes up in just a bit. That's Hacker After Dark, filling in for Rick Ballou. Comes up right now. That'll do it for our program. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.